Melbourne Centre, X-ray 42 is maintaining 8,000 and with airwork details Bathurst.
X-ray 42, sending a day, area QNH 1023, pass area details.
QNH 1023 and airwork details Bathurst remain within 15 nautical miles of Bathurst, not above 7,000 and with ops normal at 0050. X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, copy us normal time 50, no reported IFR traffic.
X-ray 42, thanks.
Bathurst, AWS aerodrome weather. Wind 220 degrees magnetic, 1 knot.
1 knot.
QNH.
So I'll tune in the CTAF now and just see if people are using runway 17, although it's 1 knot, so either could be in use, so I can cross-check.
And Bathurst traffic, Bristol 9994 is making a left base. Runway 17 for a glide approach, Bathurst.
17.
Victor Echo Delta, sending a day, short 3631, no reported traffic.
Okay, well we're approaching top of descent for Bathurst. We're 4 minutes out. What we can do now is we can bug 5,200 as our altitude for the hold, which you can see on here, 5,200. We can arm VNAV.
X-ray 42, send a VFR traffic in the circuit area at Bathurst, ASV call sign 9994.
Copy traffic, and we're on CTAF now and approaching top of descent, X-ray 42.
X-ray 42, no additional traffic for descent.
X-ray 42. Okay, so we've put here 5,200 to get our
traffic, Bristol 9994, downwind for
top of descent.
runway 17.
They're using runway 17, which is what I'm expecting based on the weather. We've got the weather. We're 3 minutes out from top of descent. We've got, we're told him we're approaching top of descent, so we're good in there. Let's run through our checklist now. So the speed's going to be 100 knots. That's about 50% power and for the approach and the hold. Freedom Air I did just in the cruise. ATIS, we got the weather, the AWIS. Radios are tuned. I'm listening to the CTAF and I've got the weather on standby. The avionics are set up. So vertical, I've got I can put my MDA in here. Actually, I've already done that, 3710. I did that after leaving Richmond. We're now 18 miles, we'll make a call shortly. Lateral, we briefed what we're going to do there, but I do want to go to OBS mode. I just want to not do that too early because once I do that I lose my top of descent. So we'll just start our descent first and then go to OBS mode. The aid we've tuned, we can identify it by listening to it on the Morse. Okay, that checks out. So we've identified, we're now on the map. It's displaying and it's orienting roughly correct, but I find it doesn't get that accurate until you're fairly close. We're 15 miles out now. We'll look at making a radio call here. Bathurst traffic, X-ray 42 is a Diamond DA40. It's currently 15 miles to the east at 8,000. Commencing descent shortly, and we're going to fly into the overhead of Bathurst at 5,200, estimating the overhead time 3:1 Bathurst. Okay, 1 minute to go, 1 minute 45. We've just running through the rest of this. Go around, we briefed. Automation, we're going to use heading mode and VS mode for this. Airwork details we passed on. Descent check, so landing data is received. We did... we've got 1022 and 1022.
Bathurst traffic, Foxtrot India Papa, Belfast,
6824, follow 6
to the north of the field.
6824, so now I'm ready, leave from Jedi space, descending area QNH 1022.
Expect that time, 30, Bathurst.
6824.
Runway lighting, seatbelts are fastened, fuel selector's on, fuel transfer is still balanced.
Vertical
parking
track.
brake is released, brake pressure's good, V-bar's coming down, engine's in the green, transponder code's good, air conditioning's not on, channel altimeters are set 2 times, landing and taxi lights can come on now, fuel pumps can come on now, and circling area we know, alternate air is not required and it's off, VREF's about 75. ABS mode. We'll do a VS instead of the VNAV, and we'll get us down to 5,200.
Station taxiing at Cowra, say again?
We'll go to OBS and heading mode. So heading mode, OBS. And now we can tune in the runway direction at Bathurst, which is 170.
The Victor Hotel, Squawk 3625, no report of track.
Bathurst traffic, Foxtrot Union Papa, Belfast 6. Helicopter is established on a 5 mile final parallel runway 17, terminate to the parking apron. Expect on the ground 30.
Yeah, okay, Delta, VFR traffic, Juliet Papa Delta, 7.5 miles near 10 o'clock, 6,500 feet unverified, crossing left to right, speed 2 and 3 minutes.
Yeah, 99, 94, thank you.
Copy the traffic, Yankee Echo Delta.
And Bathurst traffic, X-ray 42s, Diamond DA40s, now 6 miles to the east, passing through 6,700 on descent to 5,200. We'll enter the overhead and take up the hold in the overhead at 5,200, estimating the overhead time 3-1, Bathurst. So we're in heading mode. We can now see the ADF pointer in use. The head's heavy, it wants to drop, so we need to keep the diamond on the right side of it. We got a little bit of wind, not much, and we're tracking in on basically a 270 was our inbound track roughly. That puts us on a direct entry. 270, anything more than 249. And so what we're going to do, we're actually going to fly over the aid. And then we're going to, instead of doing it...
Circuit Bathurst from Foxtrot Union Papa. Can you advise where the bowsers are down here on the apron?
Instead of doing a sharp right and then a sharp left, what we're going to do is we're just going to fly straight over the aid, outbound, for 20 seconds. So we'll get the timer ready to go.
Whatever it is, air refuel, it's right next to the weather station. Just
Timer's ready to go.
Copy that, thank you very much.
We're at 5.8 now. 5.4 is the actual minimum within 10 miles. We're above that. And we're almost in the circling area now, pretty much 2 miles now. At 5.6. NDB expecting to get more sensitive as we get closer, so we're not going to chase it once we're within half a mile or so.
Center, g'day, Q-Link 10, taxis orange for Sydney, runway 11.
Other traffic around,
Okay,
below us.
Squawk 3732, no reported IFR choke, there's a VFR aircraft Par Mike uniform, 7 miles to the east, tracking west 4,500 feet unverified, showing orange, about 4 minutes.
Got the power set now for 100 knots in the downwind as we level off. Altitude's going to hold at 5.2.
Uniform, Q-Link 10, thanks.
Bathurst traffic X-ray 42s in the overhead at 5,200, and we'll stay here for a couple of minutes before descending to the north and then coming back in from the north for an approach for runway 17, Bathurst. Right, we're passing over the aid. Let's put a timer on. We're looking for 20 seconds. We've got a little bit of a tailwind, but it's pretty light, so we won't need to adjust that much. Then we're going to turn to the outbound of 179. We're looking for the speed coming back to about 100 knots now. We're going to use twist, turn, time, throttle, torque. And we've just pretty much done all those things. So we're 20 seconds now. We're going to turn onto the 179. Which is pretty much south.
Direct 6824,
and we'll adjust if needed based on the wind.
Direct 6824.
At 9 or 10 knots of wind. 179, 5,200, twist, turn. I didn't need to twist anything. Turn, time, throttle. So we need to start a timer for the a beam, but you don't kind of quite get the beam position when you do this way of entering. So I can tell by here that we're already basically just past it.
1241, Yankee Echo Delta. See ya.
Twist, turn, time, throttle is set for sort of downwind, 50%, 100 knots, and we'll adjust that based on our track. We're getting 180, so that's pretty much spot on. And we look good on the chart for extra situational awareness here. 30 seconds, and nothing further to talk at this point. I've already told them we're in the overhead at 5-2.
Melbourne Victor Echo Delta.
Nice day in Bathurst.
Maintaining 7,000.
45 seconds.
Echo Delta, good day.
So we're going to do next, we're going to do a left turn onto 359. That's our inbound course, and we're going to think about starting to bug the next altitude down, which is going to be 46. I can bug it now. We're not descending yet. Okay, there's a minute. And I can turn now onto basically a northerly heading. And that head's heavy, it's going to fall. It's going to keep falling towards the north, which is what we want. I don't need any timer going for this. Twist, turn, time, throttle, good, torque. We've got 4,600 bugged. We'll start our descent as we fly over the aid. We'll start a timer for 3.5 minutes as we do that descent, and we'll make a left turn onto 346. Can't see anything visually outside. We need to stop that turn a little bit early because the head is, you can see it's turned in a little bit sooner. So what we'll do, we'll adjust for that. So we need to get over this side. We need the diamond to be on the other side of the head, which it is now. And then that head will start to fall towards the north. And that looks like what's happening on the chart, so it all makes sense. And it'll get more sensitive as we get closer. We're 2 miles away. You can see it's now falling onto north.
4,500 and scapper.
We've got some wind from the left, but some kick there.
30.
QLink 120 identified. You're cleared to Sydney, track scapper, planned route, climb to flight level 190.
Hotel 9994, downwind for runway 17.
Console 190, QLink 120.
Alright, 1 mile to go.
Hotel, departed tower, passing 4,000 on climb to 6,000, estimate park to time 03.
Delta Victor Hotel identified. There's no reported IFR traffic.
And Bathurst traffic X-ray 42 is in the overhead, 5,200. We're about to commence a descent to the north for a 3.5 minutes out and back. So we'll fly back in from the north into runway 17 for we'll join a left circuit for runway 17. Bathurst. All right, we're on north there, 0.6 to go. Looks good on the chart, 346, twist, turn. So 346 is our next heading. Speed slow down a little bit, we'll just keep the power up a little bit more. Okay, we passed over the aid, let's get a timer going. Let's do a turn onto 346. 346 is the track. And let's get a descent going. BS down to 4,600, nose down. It's a long leg, so we don't need to dive down.
Airwork at Parks.
AFM Delta Victor Hotel.
So we're tracking 342 based on this wind.
Hotel. Rec 6824, you've left controlled airspace. Your control services are terminated.
Lovely look to the right here.
Victor Echo Delta, contact me now, 135.
Track 346. 346, looks good on the chart. We're descending to 46. Looking for traffic.
9994, turning base.
Alright, that looks good. 348. Just adjust that a little bit. 346. The tail will pull towards, so we'll pull the tail. That's working well. And we're outbound. We've got a timer going.
Just an update on that VFR traffic. Romeo 9.
3.5 now. Twist, nothing to twist. Turn.
9994,
Onto 156. Left turn onto 156.
Q-Link 120, just for information, I've got BFR Snowbird 4 operating the Timor area parachuting operations.
Time,
Looks like he's just
nothing
departed.
at time.
Can you just report leaving 140
Throttle,
on
nothing yet to
climb
adjust. And talk, so we'll make a call inbound.
140, we'll go Q-Link 120.
.156 heads heavy, that's coming down. We might overshoot it a little bit based on that little bit of tail wind. We'll have to correct for that, we'll see. Looks pretty close. 156. And once we're within 5 degrees, which we are at the moment, but I'll just make sure we're established on that. We'll start a descent, we'll bug our minimums, 3710. And we've got some wind, so we'll overshoot that a little bit. 156, about there. That head's heavy, it wants to fall, so I'll go a little bit that side of it. And we'll VS that down.
6 Echo Delta's leaving 7000.
6 Echo Delta.
Power back. 3 minutes, 41, 44. Bathurst traffic X-ray 42 is now 4 miles to the north, descending through 4,200. We're going to descend down to 3,700 and join midfield crosswind for runway 17 Bathurst. Estimating the field time, estimated the circuit time 44 Bathurst. Okay, we'll just correct that. Seems to me it's a little bit off the course on the chart, but it's pretty much spot on the NDB, so I don't know if it's quite aligned. That's got to be pretty close to 156. But it puts me to the right of the track a little bit on the actual chart. I don't know if that's a calibration issue. So we're descending down through 3710. There's 3710 now. That'll be our MDA. We're within 3 miles now. We're not yet in the circling area. We'll power up.
Snowbird 4, there's no reported IFR traffic in the Timor area or observed.
Okay, we're at our minimums. We're visual with the runway, visual with 17, visual with the circling area and the path. We're going to join midfield crosswind. We're looking for any traffic in the circuit. I can see someone at 200 feet below us on the downwind, which makes sense. And we're going to now descend once we're within that circling area.
9994, downwind for runway 17, Bathurst.
All stations in Manor Sydney, information to Foxtrot.
We'll descend to 35, VS, nose down, we're within the circling area now, visual. And I got an aircraft on downwind.
140.
35 circuit height.
Q-Link 1.
Bathurst traffic X-ray 42 is descending dead side down to 3,500. We'll join midfield crosswind and visual with the aircraft on downwind. We'll be behind you, number 2. Bathurst. Bathurst traffic X-ray 42 is joining a left downwind for runway 17 for a touch and go, Bathurst. All right. Brakes are good. Released. Temps and pressures look good.
Q-Link 10, contact centre
We'll just
now,
adjust balance and fuel once we're in track to Camden.
1298, Q-Link 10, g'day.
Right, heading spacing speed looks good. Autopilot off, power back to...
Safety alert, VFR aircraft at Naranda. I've got 2 planes within a mile of each other. North of Naranda by about a mile. X-Ray Delta Hotel 800 unverified, appears to be on climb.
Looking for 90.
X-Ray Delta Lima unverified 1,500. Safety alert, VFR aircraft at Naranda. 6 Echo Delta, orange, Starwatch terminated.
Bathurst traffic X-ray 42 left base for 17 touch and go, Bathurst. Speed checks, last stage of flat.
Planned route, Odell 7 arrival, climb to flight level 170.
75 on final. Bathurst traffic, X-ray 42, turns final, runway 17, touch and go Bathurst. Okay, aircraft's about to vacate.
Bathurst traffic, Bristol 9994, clear of all runways, taxi to the apron.
Delta Victor Hotel, copied. There's no additional
Alright, a little bit fast.
traffic through airwork within a 10 mile radius of parks below 6,000.
Runway's clear,
Your
windsock's
optimal
checked.
time of 0115. Correct 6824, your Dubbo
Feed off the brakes.
terminated.
And okay, nice. Flaps take off. Runway's clear. P's and P's are good. 60. Go around. Right rudder.
Southern Center Rex 61, ATM departed Maria, 5 miles to the northwest of the field, passing 3,600 on climb to amended 6,000. Over, time 16.
618, thanks, no report off traffic at 6,000, QNH 1020.
Copy, no reported IFR traffic 1020, Rex 60 waiting.
And so there, X-ray 42 is maintaining 7,000.
X-ray 42, Melbourne Centre.
Okay, so we're inbound now towards the Whiskey Bravo for the hold into Camden. So let's get set up for all that. So first things, let's get the ATIS.
Cloud scattered 3,500, temperature 17, QNH 1022. My first contact with Camden, tower or ground, notify receipt of information Bravo. Camden terminal information Bravo, runway 24, wind variable 5 knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometres. Cloud scattered 3,500, temperature 17, QNH 1022. My first contact with Camden, tower or ground, notify receipt of information Bravo.
Alright, we've got Bravo.
Camden.
So what we're going to do now is set up for the approach. So the way we do that, procedure, select approach. It's not the Richmond approach, so we need to go up here and go to Camden. Then we can go the Whiskey, that's the one we want. The transition is actually the Whiskey Bravo, which is where we're tracking into. Minimums, let's look at the chart here. We've just got the QNH, so minimum is 960, but I expect we won't get 960 because it's the opposite direction runway, but we'll just bug that for now. We'll probably get 1,800. So that's loaded. And what I also want to do is set up the hold. So let's go down and have a look at that. So we'll just check that looks right. So 047 is the inbound course, 5,400 is the hold, and 4060 is the 4060 is the Whiskey India, and 2250 is the final approach fix. So that looks good. So what I want to do is I want to set up the hold at Whiskey Bravo. So if I go menu, hold at waypoint. What we want to do is at the Whiskey Bravo, we want to take up the hold. We're inbound to that now on a track of 142, which puts us for a direct entry.
63, Melbourne Centre.
But if we just set up the hold, the details for the hold, so the inbound course for the hold is 047. 047 inbound, and then what it does, it adjusts and says it's going to be southwest, which makes sense. Time is 1 minute, and it's a right-hand turn. Yep. And so that all looks good. So we'll load that hold. You can see that appears here. Once we finished at once we pass rev key, we'll be going directly to the Whiskey Bravo. So I'll be able to then activate the. We can't really activate the approach until we're clear to do the approach. But by activating it, it'll just take me into the hold at the moment. So, and then the 5,400 will then not be crossed out, and we'll be able to use VNAV. So 5,400 is going to be our next altitude, so we'll just bug that for the hold, and you can see that's there. We're not in controlled airspace at the moment. So I'm going to activate that because I've already talked to them just prior about taking up the hold. And you can see that that'll just take me into the hold there. Having another look at that just for the airspace there. So we've got, we're good for that one. And 7.5 and we're at 7, so we're good for all of that into the hold. That looks good. We now get a vertical profile, so 8 minutes to top of descent, Whiskey Bravo 5,400, and 2.5 degrees is fine. So that'll fly us into the hold, but it'll just hold us in the hold and it will suspend the flight plan. So we won't actually continue the approach until we're clear to do that.
618, there's no report about traffic.
No reported IFR traffic, direct 6118.
Just got a message on my phone that there's a head lice outbreak at my kid's school. Can't really deal with that right now. So we bugged 5.4, so let's just run through our checklist now. So speed in the hold will be 100 knots and for the approach will be 100 knots. Freedom air checks I just did prior to putting the cameras back on. ATIS we got Bravo. Radios, let's just make sure they're all tuned correctly, so we can just go on to Camden here. Camden, enter, and just make sure ATIS, we want that on COM2 active, and we want tower on COM2 standby. So that's great.
That's IFR Navajo, Hurricane flight, take in runway 21 Electro Body for Moorabbin, QB1.
Okay, Mark Melbourne Centre, squawk 3673, IFR traffic is Oscar X-ray Victor, Seminole air working not above 5,000 Latrobe Valley area.
So radios are set, avionics, vertical, we've got a vertical profile, 7 minutes top of descent, we bugged our altitude, we won't VNAV yet until we're within 5 minutes. We've got our minimum bug.
X-ray Victor, IFR traffic Oscar Yankee Mike.
Lateral we've briefed, and there's no real need for OBS mode, but we might just get the RAIM check out of the way now.
X-ray 42, contact Sydney Centre 124.55.
Sydney Centre 124.55, X-ray 42.
44 on climb level 280.
Contact 44, departures, good day.
Total air temperature is 3 degrees versus 1 degree outside. We're not going into the cloud by the look of it, so looks pretty good. Let's get the GPS status. And Sydney Centre X-ray 42 is maintaining 7,000. Frames available.
X-ray 42, Centre, good day. Snow reported IFR traffic for descent to 5,400.
Copy traffic X-ray 42, thanks. 6 minutes top of descent. So we've done the RAIM, we've got the go around. So with the go around, what I'm going to request is the publish mist. I think what's going to happen is because of the opposite direction traffic, they're only going to let me go down to something like 1,800. And we'll have to stop we'll have to take that as our MDA. We'll maintain that to the mist approach point and then we'll go mist. But the same procedure applies from there. We're basically going to climb to not above. We're going to turn right, track direct to Whiskey Hotel, climb to not above 2,700 at Whiskey Hotel, track 233 and climb to 5,400. But I don't think we'll make it all the way to Whiskey Hotel before they'll want to know what we're doing.
X-ray 42 is no reported IFR traffic for the sector entry and hold. Report inbound.
We'll report inbound, X-ray 42. So what we might do, we're 5 minutes from top of descent. There's no need to delay things really. I mean, actually no, I will delay things because we're over the mountains here. I'd rather keep altitude for as long as we can. I was going to go VNAV direct, but I'll just leave it on the 5 minute top of descent. We're within 5 minutes now, so I can VNAV. Feed path's white, so that looks good. Might transfer a little bit more fuel. Put a timer on that. 3 minutes 45 to go on that one. So we're briefed on that. What's going to happen then, it's going to get really busy as we do the missed approach. So they'll be wanting to know what are our intentions, which will be, we want to track to direct Appin, Shell Harbour 4000. I want to, now let's just double check that that's okay. I believe that's okay. We've done that previously.
Traffic in the Wollongong City area, Sierra Kilo Romeo, 5 minutes to parachute drop. Expect 6 canopies from flight levels, Flagstaff Point. Traffic in the Wollongong City area.
Plot the IFR low. So it's basically what happens is you get on the MSAs of the different airports. So we'll initially be within Camden MSA, which is 5,400, but 3,400 to 10 miles. So 4,000's above that. Whereas 10 miles gets us out to almost Appin. At Appin, you're going to be within 20 miles of Bankstown, so you're within 25 miles there, so 2,500 is good there. And then with Wollongong, you're 20 miles from Wollongong, and the DGA approach starts at 3,700. The grid
Contact 44, contact Brisbane Centre 133.
is 5-4 for this area. There's a little bit of showers actually there as well, so we might expect to be not visual.
0, contact 44. Traffic on all elevations, slow planes, Lewis here, Hotel, Southern out of Billwater 1,500, on descent 1,000, northbound for the Barrenjoey head. In the northern
We'll have a quick look at Shell Harbour. Charts. Shell Harbour. Here it is. Yeah, so out to the north, 125 inbound course. So we're on a something like a, what's our inbound to Shell Harbour from Appin to Wollongong. Because we've got that approach going, that's not showing. But from Appin to Wollongong, the course is 167. So we're on a 167, so within the 3,700 for 25 miles. So that's good. So as long as we stay to that course, we can do the whole route at 4,000. Initially off the Camden MSA, then the Bankstown MSA, then the Wollongong, or probably just Camden and Wollongong MSAs really, but we can do the whole thing at 4,000, which is good to know because then this approach really starts at 3,700 from 25 miles. So that's good. All right, so let's...
vertical track.
Right, vertical track, V path's white, and we're starting our descent. So let's go to our descent checklist. So we did that. Descent checklist, landing data is received, briefing's complete, ComNav FMS, runway lighting won't be needed, seatbelts fastened, fuel selectors are on. That's our timer for put our next timer on. Fuel transfer can come off now. We're about to start descent, so we'll just quit 1022 is what we had on the and fuel transfers balanced, parking brakes released, brake pressure's good, engine's in the green, and gearbox is in the green, and volts and amps are good. scenery around today. Looks like we're going to go into the clouds quite a bit here. We're at 0 degrees now, but we're going to be descending. And V path is capturing, and we'll back that power off now. I'll just let him know, leaving 7,000. X-ray 42 is leaving 7,000.
X-ray 42.
Engine's in the green, transponder code's good and green, transmitting, air conditioning's not on, altimeters are set, fuel pumps can come on now, landing and taxi lights can come on now, circling area we're not going to need, alternate air is closed, and we probably won't need to open it because we'll be through this fairly quickly. But if we sit in it at below 5 degrees, I'll open the alternate air. BRF, we're looking for 75, although we're not actually going to get down to that because we're not going to touch down, and OBS mode won't be needed. Before landing, landing lights, fuel pumps, flaps, and cancelling SAR, that's all good. So we're in the descent. We are passing 6,400 from 5,400, 1 to go. Let's look at what the avionics are going to do. You can see here it's going to put us into this hold, and it's a direct entry. And what we need to do, we'll let the autopilot flight in the hold, but we need to report when we're ready for the approach. It will suspend our flight plan when we get into the hold, so it'll just keep flying the hold until we unsuspend. When we unsuspend, it'll then continue with the procedure, which we need to be cleared for the procedure to do that. See, the ForeFlight's pretty good actually. I mean, it's picking up cloud below us. It's picking up icing sort of at our level or above. We're going to be descending before that. So that's actually, it's pretty accurate in terms of where it thinks the clouds are and the icing. It's good to know. It also gives me my AGL, which is quite useful, and an image of the terrain.
Copy, Jimmy, Wollongong City area, Sierra Kilo Romeo.
May well be in the clouds for this approach, or maybe just above it at 5.4. So that's nice, we're just below the icing level now. And we don't really want to be much faster. I mean, we'll hold at sort of 50% power, 100 knots. Whiskey Bravo. You can see on the chart here, and we're about to, we're entering that hold now. Turn right, 231. And let's go to the chart. That looks good. So we're at, I guess we can twist, turn, time,
just a 660
throttle and torque. So the main thing we need to do now is torque, which is to let them know that we might put the GPS up here, which would be more useful than the NDB for Bathurst. So the inbound course is 047. Let's see if that makes sense. That makes sense. Inbound course. So we'll let him know we're ready for the procedure for the RNP. We're turning now.
All stations, Wilton, XL and Victor 3 minutes parachute drop overhead the field OCK access flight of Wilton.
X-ray 42 is ready for the RNP approach for Camden.
X-ray 42, no reported IFR traffic for descent. There's a VFR aircraft at the Oaks, 3,100 feet, unverified, random maneuvers, intentions unknown.
Copy, thanks, X-ray 42. 3,000 below us, so it's below us. We can have a look on here, see if it's on the chart. could be that one, the Whiskey India. That'd be 3,200 or something. So this is suspended. I've told him he's given me traffic for the approach. We're straightening out on as expected. We're 5,400 and we maintain 5,400 until 3.8 miles from the Whiskey India. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unsuspend. Now what will happen is, as I pass over the Whiskey Bravo, it'll then sequence over to Whiskey India. And what I want to do is I want to use VNAV and set the flight path angle to 3.4 degrees, so that will then manage my descent. I've got VPath still white, still engaged, and we'll bug our minimum for now until we're told otherwise. We'll bug our minimum for the approach, 960, so that VPath can start taking us down. But we expect that won't be possible, and we'll be told to level off at a higher altitude. All right, so we're coming over the waypoint now, the Whiskey Bravo.
Vertical track.
There you go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We're going to change this to 3.4 degrees. Top of descent's now 40 seconds. So 3.4. I've now got a top of descent, and it'll help me manage that commencement, which is we're now 4.5 miles from Whiskey India, and at 3.8 miles from Whiskey India we start the descent. We're expecting he'll tell us to go over to tower, which is 120.1.
Yeah, Kilo Romeo, visual cancel.
So we'll get that ready to go.
Sure, Kilo Romeo, shore harbour source terminated.
4.1. We're looking for 3.8. And VPath should start taking us down to 4060. And why 4060? Because that's Whiskey India. VPath's engaging at 3.8. So that's really good. Top of descent, we're descending. And now we just want to monitor that, 2 miles 4780. Back the power off now. It's quite a steep descent, Camden, and we've got a headwind, so that should help us a little bit. Just want to be slow.
X-ray 42 at Whiskey India, identification services terminate, contact tower there, 120.1.
Tower on 120.1 at Whiskey India, X-ray 42. We're 2.8 miles from Whiskey India. Start listening to the tower.
Maintain 1,100.
Mike X-ray, clear to visual approach.
2 miles 4780. Slowing down to 100 knots now.
Number 3, Mike X-ray.
X-ray Whiskey Juliet, climb via to 6,000, cleared direct to Richmond.
2 miles from Whiskey India, 4780, and it's spot on. So the VNAV's doing a good job.
X-ray Victor identified.
Now late downwind, ready to turn base for touch and go.
You're back, number 2, follow an air to, sorry, CT4 about your 4 o'clock.
Copy, CT4,
X-ray Victor, ForeFlight levels, your drop time will be 40. Advise if you're happy with that.
Tower, Halifax,
Yeah, power up a little bit there.
November Mike X-ray, clear to land.
Clear to land of Mike X-ray.
Attack 227.
Pido's on.
Roger, make a
Alternate air can
right
stay off
circuit to the
here.
dam. Operate right circuits around the dam, not above 300 AGL. Report complete.
Right circuit to the dam.
At Whiskey India, I believe that will drop down to 2250 and VNAV will keep going. But if it doesn't, I'll have to go to VS. I need to contact the tower.
Victor Delta, cleared visual approach. Number 3, follow Cessna on base.
Visual approach, number 3, traffic sighted.
What I don't want it to do is level me off there. Camden Tower X-ray 42s, Diamond DA40s, Whiskey India, inbound via the RNP, and receive Bravo, request the publish mist.
X-ray 42 Tower, track via the RNP Whiskey approach, not below 1,800 visual.
Track via the RNP Whiskey approach, not below 1,800
Destination ATIS is 120.9.
And when we're becoming visual. We are visual now.
X-ray, taxi parking.
So look what it's done, 2250 switched over, final approach fix. It won't go any lower than that. So before you get to the final approach fix, which we're 4 miles now, from the final approach fix 3700, looks good. A few funny updrafts and downdrafts there, which sort of play with our speed a little bit. We're visual with the runway. Okay, 3 miles from the final approach fix, we're looking for 3340. We'll need to switch to VS because that'll level us off at 2250, which we don't want to do. So at 3 miles we were 3340, that looks correct. Okay, final approach fix within 1 minute, bottom of descent. So we've got a minute to go before it's going to want to level us out. So let's turn VNAV off shortly. Not below 1,800, so VNAV can come off. It'll go to pitch mode. We can go to VS and it will keep that profile. Still at 100 knots. We can go for flap now. And it'll still manage 700 feet a minute, but it'll slow us down. We'll need a bit more power to keep 100 knots. We don't want to go to 110. It's our flap speed. So 35% power is good. We're still descending. At final approach fix, we want it to be 2250, and we're going to be pretty close to that. We use VS up and down now.
5 Victor Delta, taxi parking.
There's 2250 or 2280. There's 1,800. Get the power up now. 50%. Altitude's holding at 1,800. We're above the height of the circuit, which is why we're at 1,800. It's a sort of 500 clearance. So we're tracking in via GPS. GPS is still green, 1,800. We're 3 miles from the missed approach point. We're not continuing the descent now. We would be at 1,530, but we're maintaining 1,800. Now when we go missed, we're going to climb to not above 2,700. So let's bug that. So we don't blow that.
12 o'clock.
Traffic. Yep, we know about
12
the traffic
o'clock.
and we're visual.
1 mile. 1,100 feet below.
Everything's on. Yeah, no factor. 1 mile to go. Okay, missed approach. Autopilot off, power up, pitch up. We can go to nav mode to fly the published mist, and it's going to do the right thing, make a right turn. X-ray 42 is passing 2,000 in the missed approach.
X-ray 42, connect centre 124.55.
Centre on 12455, X-ray 42. Max continuous, fuel pumps off, landing and taxis off. And we're in the missed approach.
Bravo, clear to land.
5,000.
Good land, Bravo. We cleared 5,000 on the Pole 20.
Right of there.
X-ray Whiskey Juliet.
So that'll fly us to the hotel, not above 2,700, so altitude selected, so that will level us off.
Traffic.
For any
4
traffic.
o'clock. 1 mile. Altitude unknown.
Contact centre. Centre X-ray 42 is in the missed approach at Camden, 2,700 and tracking to the Whiskey Hotel.
X-ray 42 Centre, no reported IFR traffic, and you're identified.
X-ray 42.